So it is official at UFC 291, Alex Pereira will be making his UFC debut in the light heavyweight division against the Polish power Jan Błachowicz. Alex Pereira made his UFC debut only a couple of years ago fighting in the middleweight division, and he's already tasted UFC gold. Now, as we know, he finished Israel Adesanya in the 5th round at UFC 281. Unfortunately for Alex, the rematch with Adesanya didn't go as planned. He got finished in the 2nd round by knockout at UFC 287. So now he is looking to be making his light heavyweight debut and is a scary prospect for anyone in that division. His opponent Jan Błachowicz is the former light heavyweight champion, and he lost the title to Glover Teixeira at UFC 267 via 2nd round submission. And he got a controversial split decision draw against Ankalaev, which in most people's minds, Ankalaev should have been awarded that victory. So I'm going to give you guys a quick preview of this fight now, which is scheduled to take place. The card at the moment is looking absolutely stacked. As we know, we've got the main event being Justin Gaethje versus Dustin Poirier for the BMF title. Now, if you are interested in my analysis for that video, feel free to check it out in the description. So I think Jan Błachowicz is definitely going to be up against it here in this contest. As you know, Alex Pereira is very big, okay? He was extremely big for middleweight, and I think realistically, he should have been competing in this division from the very start, but I think Jan Błachowicz obviously has the edge here, being that he's competed at light heavyweight for much longer. I don't think you're going to find that Jan Błachowicz is actually going to be bigger than Alex Pereira. They're going to be very similar in stature. Now, as we know, Jan Błachowicz did get a win against Israel Adesanya when Adesanya moved up in weight to face him for the title. But I think it's going to be a lot more difficult for Jan Błachowicz to get the victory over Alex Pereira, and I'll explain to you why. It's because Alex Pereira is a much bigger man than what Adesanya was, so he's going to fill into the weight class more naturally. So it's not going to be as easy for Blachowicz to impose his power and size over Alex Pereira. One edge I think you'll find that Jan Błachowicz will have within this contest is his grappling. He's going to have a much bigger advantage within the grappling, but similarly to that, Alex Pereira is going to have the edge within the striking battle. So I think all round this is going to be a fantastic matchup. Who do you guys see winning this one? Because I don't think it's any secret that Blachowicz is going to have to be very careful on the feet, and I think it'd be stupid not to utilize his wrestling and grappling skill. Now, apparently Alex Pereira is a brown belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, which he was awarded in his victory against Israel Adesanya initially. But I thought that was a bit of a joke, to be honest. There is no way that Alex Pereira is a brown belt in Jiu-Jitsu. He just got awarded that for marketing, in my opinion. Jan Błachowicz is the much better grappler here, so I think that's the way he wins this contest. But nonetheless, this is going to be a fantastic card. The UFC has really looked after us for International Fight Week. UFC 291 is by far the best card, no doubt about it. We've got Tony Ferguson making a return against Bobby Green. Now, we know Jan Błachowicz does have the ability to submit his opponents. He submitted many of his opponents throughout his career, so he definitely has a strong grappling prowess there that Alex Pereira will have to be careful of. You know, when he was facing off against Israel Adesanya, he didn't really have to be concerned with the grappling prowess of Adesanya because Adesanya is not a grappler. But I think going into this fight, he does have to have a little bit of a different mindset. He has to be much more wary of the takedown threat and the grappling threat that Blachowicz possesses, because he will be looking to take him down in this fight, and I think Blachowicz knows that the path to victory for him will be a submission over Alex Pereira, because I think he will realize that getting a knockout victory and picking Alex Pereira apart on his feet and getting a victory that way, even by decision, is an unlikely outcome. Now, Jan Błachowicz is the older man. He's currently 40 years of age, but I don't think it's going to be a huge downfall for him within this contest. As you know, within the heavier divisions, the guys can tend to go a little bit longer because even though they lose their athleticism, they've got that power there, okay? And that power serves them quite well. And Blachowicz is obviously still fighting an extremely high level. And it is no secret what Alex Pereira's path to victory is here. He's going to want to knock his lights out, like he has done with every one of his opponents within the UFC thus far, bar his last fight with Israel Adesanya, where he got caught in the 2nd round there. Now, unlike Adesanya, when he went up to face Blachowicz at light heavyweight, I think Alex Pereira's power will translate much better because it's very clear that he's more naturally selected to be at the light heavyweight division. He was struggling for quite some time to make middleweight, and it was only a matter of time before he was going to go up within this weight class. And Alex Pereira has a 59% strike accuracy. If we compare this to Jan Blachowicz 49% strike accuracy, it's clear who's going to have the advantage where. Alex Pereira is a very smart striker, but you'll notice with his punches and his kicks, he targets the legs, he targets the body, and he targets the head. All of it almost evenly distributed. So he doesn't just headhunt people, he keeps them guessing so they don't know where the strikes are coming from, which sets up the knockouts for him. So he's very intelligent on the feet, great kickboxing record. So Blachowicz needs to be careful, otherwise Alex Pereira is going to run through him him here. I give Alex Pereira a better chance against Jan Błachowicz than what Adesanya did, purely for the size discrepancy between those two athletes. What do you guys think is going to happen at UFC 291? Do you think Alex Pereira will get the win against Blachowicz and settle into the light heavyweight division? Or do you think the Polish power will get the win here? And if you guys like this sort of content, please feel free to hit subscribe, but only if you are interested in the latest MMA news. And if you're interested in receiving our newsletter, please feel free to check that out in the description below. But thanks very much for tuning in, everyone, and I'll catch you all later.